the incumbent president of Federal Republic of Nigeria in public spaces said he's carrying on with the legacy of Buhari. And people were like, one of the things was when he brought back the national anthem, I said, okay, if you want to take us back to old national anthem, take us back the old good days. People are saying the old good days.
System.
Yeah. Now, if you are talking about the economic policies of Buhari was conservative. He didn't take risks. It was like, let's just manage on. And he was, you can see the pattern of his life reflected in our economy. Even when it's getting bad, he stood on his ground not to touch oil fuel subsidy, no matter the pressure. Because he had been in minister of, remember he was one time minister of oil and gas in Nigeria. And then even as president, he was still substantial minister of oil and gas, even, as a double portfolio he's holding. And he lived his life in that sector for a long time. And then, so he resisted that urge to remove subsidy. Remember his own time, they call him the president of the masses. There's this language they call, in a Hausa language, you almost call him the man of the ulamas. That's the Richard of the earth. He lives and he comes around, he visits his community, Daura, more than anybody who has been in top position from that community. He almost comes every weekend. And he entertains people, his house is home for all. So he's in touch with what removing of oil subsidy will do to the life of all those people. He comes every weekend to see. So in that regard, he was saying no matter what price Nigeria is paying, he won't do that. Economically, as for us as Nigerians, what we feel firsthand, Buhari did not remove oil subsidy because of that. That's part of, so you can't talk about these economic policies without thinking about that, because the single removal of our economic oil subsidy by the present government, the ricochet of the multiplier effect he had up to now, like my brother said, what he was still crying and shouting about it. So, still pressing down on us, and we are shouting, allow us to breathe. And that breathing we have not had. So with that, if that alone, because it's not all that we said, it's good also that our approach to the life and times of General Buhari is being picked in bits, so that we don't just put them in one pack and then pass it on. He performed well in the only thing that when you are scoring where you perform well, where you perform, probably
Are you scoring him 50% on the economy?
The economy, he gets up to 50%.
Okay.
Because at least when it's simple knowledge of economics and commerce tells you, any money you did not spend, you saved it. So he's the kind of person, in as much as he was like the case of monkey, hugging, having his children at the back, and he's jumping up, and all of them were picking the fruits, and they're eating. So he can stay, but you look at him, you can't say. People went to bury him in his house, his own house, and they saw all he owned. You can't put it that he's a corrupt Nigerian politician. When he declared his assets, he declared he had 150 cows. And if it was what he was turning around, and then probably when you are saying herdsmen, farmers clashes, he will want to say, I know. When you take the problem, you say, I know. He didn't act much on that. So that is on security and insecurity. But on economy, what he didn't spend, he saved. But he didn't also take risk of, because he was being very careful. He was slow and quiet in his way approach to things. So he didn't allow people, the economists and the IMF, the World Bank, to bamboozle him into. His borrowing wasn't compared to what we have now, because when they took him, you look at what our foreign reserve was. At least if he didn't, our foreign reserve, if he spent it, he didn't borrow more to make it worse. So he was being conservative.